Hi everyone, hope everybody is doing well. And we are again going in next day, another day with My Five. So with My Five, all of you know that we are trying to prepare ourselves five questions, sample questions and their answers every day. The sequences you get the no answers, like you get the five questions without the answer, which you try to solve with and referencing the review material from the class or from Google or for any other resources. After that, you get the solution, and after that, you get the voice recording, you get a video recording for the explanation. Also, I'm expecting all of you are keeping up with the book reading because for certification, completing the book in the sequence is really necessary. And I always promote that one time book reading with nice highlighting is needed so that when you want to go back to the book, you can just look at the main pointers. So that is one of the suggestion which I always give, and I'll again reiterate that. So let's just start with today's five questions. Before going to today's five questions, I'll go ahead and share my screen. And let's just go quickly through our code of honor. Just to remind all of us, we are here to get the credential for SQL Certified Associate Certification for 1Z0-071, the foundation exam, which is giving a associate level certification, because of which we have a little extra syllabus than expected. That's what we can say. But over here, I again encourage all of you to ask get the clarity on why you want to do this exam and why it is so important to do this exam right now. So for that reason, there is a clarity exercise which you ask why questions. You ask the why five times. So why you want to do the exam. So whatever your answer is on that, you ask that, okay, it will be important for my job. So why it is important for my job? Okay, it will help me to add this on my resume. Why it is important to add on the resume? So this way you go five times until you get your clarity. Your commitment to do the regular work and implement on the daily basis. Also, you communicate in the group, you communicate your progress, you inspire your fellow members, fellow students, and if somebody is lagging behind, you need to get pull them through with you so that all of you can cross the finishing line together. So in that, there is more fun than one person crossing the finishing line. Okay, so just take that responsibility, have a focus, which in my view, just handle your distraction very well. Don't get upset with even you get upset, bounce back very fast. Make some changes in your lifestyle just for next 30, 60, maximum 90 days, keeping a deadline so that you can finish this in the limited time. And just we are putting one brick at a time. We are just doing five sample questions. We are trying to learn a particular topic through those questions every day, and we are building this block, and we are going to build the whole wall. That's what is the plan. And then the growth. So all of us, we are growing together, so like uh, uh, we are whatever the transformation happens, the growth which we are going to experience together. So as suggested, just add the daily reading of the exam objectives, add it to your routine, add your affirmations, take care of your health, be happy, have a positive energy. Anything negative happens, any distraction happens, somebody says something, some social commitments happens, little bit adjust some places. And even if you get unhappy with anything during the day, just put some nice song or do some dance or something can bring a smile on your face, or just go to YouTube and like listen to like any funny video or something like that, and bring your energy back, and start with your five questions. And I have given some sample affirmation related to the certification, related to how you're having the day, and this will support you for bringing, like attracting your goal faster. So always, if we are in the energy of doing accomplishing a goal, and we are thinking about it a lot, and then we are creating our environment around us a lot, we are reminding our mind constantly, so it is going to happen. And if possible, if somebody believes in it, if you feel comfortable, you can write your affirmations also. So that just to revise, because maybe it's been few days, so I just wanted to bring it up again, and then we go back to our certification question. So now the questions for today's question. First of all, as I want to say always, which I always say, which is we are doing this question practice and the topic practice to earn the Oracle Certified SQL Associate credential. Okay, so today's first question is like, if you read the question, in this question, we have the description of a table, and then the question is which query retrieves the number of products with the null as a list price. So list underscore price is the column name. So few things we need to see that some of the assumptions, because like the sample questions, the source where we are getting it is not like a lot of things, maybe sometimes the underscore is missing, sometimes some spelling mistake is there. So few of the things we are anyway in the reverse engineering process, so I need to give you certain assumptions. Okay, so if you're looking at this directly without the guidance, maybe you will get confused, or you can fix it also, it's up to you. But over here I'm giving some kind of hints where I know that this could be spelling mistake, or this could be just whenever this question is created, that there could be a problem. But for your final exam, you will never have any spelling mistake or any of that, any of the grammatical mistake or something, you will never have. Okay, because they're testing us against questions, so those questions will be perfectly fine. Okay, it's just the matter of the goal here is getting used to I should get used to solving the question with eyes without practicing. Means if needed, we are doing the practice, but the goal is like looking at the question, the answer, we should able to guess it. That is the whole goal. And this will happen as we will put one break at a time, and slowly you will know that your eyes get used to looking at these kind of questions. And another suggestion I would say, if we are going through, like today we are on suppose day 3 or day 4 or day 5, or maybe we are on day 10. So my suggestion is I would, if I'm in your place, I would print the daily questions or keep it in a particular file together maybe, so that when I'm doing the day 2, I'll do day 1 and day 2 together. When I'm doing day 7, I'll do day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But because I have already spent time on day 1 and 2, so I will take very less time to do that when I'm revising doing actually the day 3. But it is always a good idea to look at all the questions with answers. It's fine. No answer is okay. You don't need to worry about no answer, but at least with answers, like to go back and look at those every day. Whatever the number of days we are done, suppose we are at day 10 today, you should be looking at from day 1 to 9 and also today's day. So if you keep doing that, you will be feeling, your eyes will get more comfortable looking at the questions, finding the mistakes, finding the answers. Okay, so with that, this question looks like if I just, it's a simple question, but when I look at it, it immediately I can understand is it is something which is related to it's clearly saying the product, the number of products with the null list price. Okay, so list price, whichever product which has list price as null, we need to count those number of rows. So in here, is null will be included. Somewhere there will be is null, because product, the list price is null. It's 100% going to be there. Okay, so now when the thing you need to remember, when we do a count, this is a very, very tricky question. Okay, so because count with the null, when we do the count with the null, you know that count doesn't count the null rows. Okay, so when we have done count star from count commission from employees, you know that only the people who are earning commission, those are counted. the number of the employees which are not sales, like not earning commission, they don't get listed. Okay, so that one thing you need to keep track. So when we have anything as a null, to translate that null to a particular value, we use the function nvl, value if null. So if it is null, do 0. So at least count will find 0 0 0 0 number of zeros, and then it will give the answer. So in my head, I already know that it is going to be somewhere, this is nvl will be used and is null will be used. Okay, so when I'm going by rejection, the first answer looks okay, but before that, let's just do the second one, to rejection. So where list price equal to null, I don't even need to read the whole query. The where clause itself is wrong, because at least I don't know using NVL. I don't know right now, but at least I know is null is used, because it clearly says the product value is null. So this is wrong, because where condition with the way we never use equal to with null. Then the next one is like it is using the is null. You see that? But it is saying distinct list price. But it is null. If it is null, it is going to be null only, because anything with null is null. So distinct list price, if all the null will be distinct null only. So this itself, this distinct here is not making sense. And the third option where you're having here, so list price is null. So this is looking very nice. Okay, this is nice. But when I go here, I know the rule that when we do any count, the null will be not counted. So this here, I will never get a right answer. But answer number D and answer number A, they're very, very close, because they look almost right. But if you know the rule that count will not count the nulls, then you will go for the selection number A, where we are converting it to 0 and then counting how many number of rows are there with list price as null. So that is the explanation for this particular question. If you want, you can try it also, because it's if you want to try, you try, but you can try it taking consideration of some other example of employees. That is also possible. But if not, I just applied the rule. I did not do anything different here. So the next question is like, again, the description of the table is there. You have the customer whose income level has a value. You want to display the first name and the due amount as 5% of the credit limit. So customers whose due amount is null should not be displayed in the query. So the due amount is not null. That is 100%, that condition is going to be there. So I'm going to first eliminate on that condition. So here is not null looking good. If you see the selection B with the null not equal to doesn't work, rejected, not equal to null, reject, arithmetic operators with null, rejected. And the answer number D also, it's using not equal to. So in 3 places this is using like a not equal to, not equal to, which is like with and the due amount not null, means the arithmetic with null. So actually speaking, without even thinking, means I would go ahead and mark A, because all the other 3, they have a syntax mistake. With null, we do not use arithmetic operator. We don't use less than, greater than, not equal to, nothing we can use it. So all those 3 options, B, C, D is rejected. So without closing eyes, I can go for A. Even it's right or wrong, you don't need to worry also, because these are for sure wrong. So this is not null, which is the right syntax. That's it. With that, I can go, because there is no confusion also in here, because all these 3 are 100% wrong. Okay, so that way, if you see that here, anyway, it is right, because due amount is not null is used. Also, customer first name and the customer credit limit multiplied by 0.505 is 5% as due amount, and then it has that where customer level is not null and due amount is not null. So it is having the right syntax. Okay, but this was very easy case of rejection. Without losing time, we could have just immediately did A, because A looked okay, but I would go with that strategy of looking at the where condition with the null, because clearly the condition, clearly it shows we are expecting is not null here. Okay, so because of that. The next question over here is like, again, a description is there, and then there are some criterias are given, and nicely the select statements are given. So now if you see my no solutions with the document which I send you with no solutions. So these select statements are in one line. If you want to copy paste them and try it on Apex on the HR schema, you're welcome to do it just to see. But here the goal is again catching with eyes. The question is looking long because the select statements are written in a multiple lines. So this question is almost like 1.5 page question. But you don't need to worry about it. Just look at it as a simple what is asked and how we can go with the rejection criteria. So this is the explanation of your like the table. Display the manager ID and the salary of the lowest paid employee for that manager. So in my mind, again, it's an employees table, little bit column here and there may be different. They cannot have exact employees table like a HR schema. So they have given it with 4 columns. So in my mind, I'm already doing the calculation. On the first select, there should be manager ID, and then there should be the lowest paid. So min of the salary, like that should be there. Exclude anyone whose manager is not known. Exclude managers where minimum salary is greater than is 6,000 or less than 6,000. So this is a very big hint here, where minimum salary is less the minimum salary is 6,000 or less than that. Okay, 6,000 or less. So if I put a condition greater than 6,000, it is going to work. But here the hint is what? Minimum salary filtration criteria is asked. So that means what? Having. It's going to have a group by. It's going to have a having. In having, we are going to have something with 6,000. That is the hint which we are thinking about it. Okay. And sort the output by minimum salary with the highest salary shown first. There are 2 hints I'm catching here. First is this particular select statement is going to have having for sure, because it's minimum salary. A filtration on group function is always done by having clause. Okay, having clause is used for filtering the group function. So min salary greater than 6,000. That's in my mind. Also, the second hint is the order by clause is going to have descending clause because it's the highest to lowest. Okay, so by default, numerical ascending is going to be lowest to highest. So when I go here, so this is first thing, like group by is there, but there is no having here. The min and minimum salary. So it is a syntax error right here. Then over here, order by minimum salary descending is not there. I can ignore this. Over here, descending, I'm looking at it. Group by also looking, but the having min salary is over here. So this is little bit, this whole statement is looking almost right, but the having position is above the where criteria. So that is little bit here, but here this looks perfect. This looks perfect. So actually between C and D, you might get confused, but there is a rule. Always remember that. If you copy paste this and try in Apex, you will see that you will get an error for C. Okay, because having clause always appears after group by. That's the rule. Follow that, because of which the selection is D. Okay, so just remember that. So that's the way. So when you start just having 1 or 2 hints from the question and then you start ignoring it, then you don't even need to read the whole query. Just look at the where clause, look at the group by, having whatever we are expecting, look at that. And if it is not matching your main rule, just ignore it. And then between remaining ones, you can little bit debate it. So over here between this and this, maybe you might get confused, but if I remember the rule, having always after group by, it will be no confusion. This is the right answer. Okay. Then the next question is like we have again the employees table with it's little bit not aligned properly, but just understand that you will see it nice employee table with the column name, not null, and the data type. What is the question here? Which statement will execute successfully, returning the distinct employee with not null first, with non-null first names. Okay, so over here again we have is not null. So over here, this is wrong. Is not null, this is right. This is, so between A and C is rejected right away. Now let's just see like B and D. In B and D, if you see that it is the statement which is returning the distinct employees with not null first name. So if you see the B, it is having first name and distinct last name. Okay, but you don't want it like you are looking for the you are actually looking for the first name. Okay, so over here the query, so because of that the answer B is rejected, because you do not want and then it is not telling you which columns to select, but distinct last name will not make the answer which we want. So because we don't know which columns to select, so select star is fine, but we are selecting anyway distinct star, and in that where first name is not null, we are selecting the rows which are filtering the criteria of first name, because that's what here not null first name, that's what we want. But why not this? Because you don't want two columns with distinct last name, okay, which will change the whole query logic. So because of that, the answer is D. And the last question for today is on our single row functions. So single row functions, my suggestion is like look at this I would 100% ask you to just copy paste in Apex and see the output. There is a syntax mistake little bit over here which it's been fixed, which I already had posted in the no answer. And over here what output, which to statement convert the hello with the ELLO word. So the first character has to be gone. Okay, and then still E is lowercase and word. Okay, so with this this one sounds like this one I tried all the four. Okay, and in that, even we know the answer, it's better idea to try, because the way how the subster works, the way how the trim works, you will be able to get some experience with it. And there are a couple of examples of this. So like over here, trim H, so you're removing H from hello world, so then you're not, and you're putting it lower, so because of that E becomes lower. Over here what happens, like you're removing H from the hello word, it does trim, but it is init cap, the E becomes caps. That's what happens over here. In subster you're doing this, but this is again, it is lower, it is like you do, it will just take one letter, but we want the rest of all, so you just want to start from 2 and rest of all. So because of that E is right. So when you will try this, you will know this little bit. You will not have a lot of questions on this, but whatever questions we have it in the samples couple of places, so those we will try to have it in our five question challenge, and you try those so that you get comfortable with it. But answer over here, the expected answer was ELLO word, and that you can get only with C and D. Okay, you can read these steps or read those tips if you want. So this was I would say I'll just go ahead and stop sharing. So this was our today's file. I hope you're enjoying the challenge, and keep it up, keep communicating, keep giving me stars, which motivates me and motivates everybody else. And see you next time. Thank you.